Today, I'm excited to share with you a new edition of Nerdio Manager for Enterprise called the Premium Edition. Over the last couple of years, we've been building lots and lots of functionality for our customers or partners that have been doing deployments of AVD large and small. Our larger customers and partners that are doing deployments with thousands or tens of thousands of users have come to us with requests for very specific type of functionality that would be useful and necessary in their large environments, in their very complex environments. And we've been making significant investments into building out this functionality. To be able to continue to do so, we decided to create a new edition of our product specifically for our larger and most complex deployments, and that is called Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium. In this video, I'd like to explain to you what the difference is between Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Standard and Premium editions, and what type of functionality you can expect to come to Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium in the future. So let's start out on the getnerdio.com website and open up the plans and pricing page for Nerdio Manager for Enterprise. As we open it up, you'll see that there is now two editions that are listed. There is a standard edition, which is priced at $3 per active user per month. And there is the new premium edition, which is priced at $7 per active user per month. Now, Nerdio Manager has grown and contains so much functionality that we decided to split it into various categories. So you can see the various categories of functionality. And for each category, you'll see there are going to be two columns that are going to compare standard versus premium. And you'll see that in each category will be some features that are unique to the premium edition. However, if you want to see a consolidated list of what is in Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium, there is this button right here called Show Premium Features Only. And if we click on that button, that's going to show us only the features that are net new or that are different in Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium and are not part of Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Standard. So let's go ahead and take a look at these features. So number one, Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium is going to extend the types of platforms where AVD can be deployed and managed. And it is now very exciting that you can manage on-premises deployments of AVD through our integration with Azure Stack HCI. So for customers that have on-premises Azure Stack HCI, they can seamlessly link that into their Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium Edition and manage host pools, VMs, images, and even auto-scaling directly from their familiar interface. We also have worked with many customers that require cross-sovereign Azure cloud deployments. For example, a US government customer may have their user identities in GCC while they want to run their VMs and infrastructure in Azure Gov. And Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium Edition now supports cross-sovereign cloud deployments where it could manage multiple clouds from within the same environment: Azure Global, Azure Government, Azure China, and other Azure clouds that will be coming soon in the future as well. Nerdio Manager Enterprise Premium Edition also supports split Azure AD tenant deployments. These deployments allow you to have multiple Azure AD tenants where AVD infrastructure resides, all being managed from the same Nerdio Manager instance with the same Azure AD identity source. But you can have multiple tenants. So if there is an M&A transaction and a new company has been acquired, their existing Azure AD tenant with associated subscriptions can be brought into the management of Azure Virtual Desktop from the same Azure Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium. There is also the ability to do auto scaling in multi-tenant and cross-cloud Azure Virtual Desktop environments, and that's kind of full functionality in cross-sovereign cloud and split Azure AD tenant deployments is available. A new feature is also called Azure API Limit Booster. So for those of you who work in large environments, you know that Azure API limits on the Azure Resource Manager are limited for very large environments to something like 12,000 calls per region, per subscription, per hour. What Azure API Limit Booster for Nerdio Manager Premium does is it allows you to create multiple app registrations and link them to the Nerdio Manager for Enterprise install, and it will automatically distribute evenly, kind of load balance the API calls across multiple app registrations. There is no limit on the number of app registrations that you can link. So as your environment grows, instead of having to spread out across multiple subscriptions, you can scale out or scale up by adding additional app registrations. The next feature is called Multiple Trigger Autoscale. Multiple Trigger Autoscale allows you to configure not just one autoscale trigger that determines whether to grow or shrink a host pool, but specify 1, 2, or even 3 usage criteria to make that decision. For example, you can say scale out when either the CPU or the RAM or the number of sessions exceed certain thresholds, and only scale in when they all fall below other thresholds that you specify. So multiple trigger autoscale allows for more granular and more accurate autoscaling with additional savings on compute and storage. Azure NetApp File Management is included as part of Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium Edition. Also, Azure NetApp File Autoscaling, including schedule-based, free space-based, or even latency-based scaling is included. This allows you to increase the performance of your Azure Files volume for a specified amount of time, either in response to a schedule, in response to increased latency from heavier use, or even if the storage free space falls down below a particular threshold that you specify, it will dial up the performance and then dial it back down so you can save money when it's no longer needed. So this gives you a very accurate performance versus cost profile so that you can have the performance needed with the least possible cost. We have log analytics, workspace, storage usage optimization. This allows you to monitor your log analytics workspaces that are used for Azure Insights through AVD Insights and Azure Monitor. Those workspaces tend to grow pretty large in big AVD environments and tend to constitute a significant portion of the AVD costs. And what Nerdio Manager lets you do is at a glance view where you can apply optimizations, how much you'll save by reducing or increasing retention periods, what kind of counters are being sampled and how frequently, and what changes will make the most difference in terms of reducing your costs. So that's all part of the premium edition. We have active host pool disaster recovery, which is the ability to take a host pool in your environment and automatically spread out its session hosts across multiple Azure regions. So if one region goes offline, users can continue working seamlessly out of the second region. This happens completely automatically, and Nerdio Manager handles the VM creation, the auto scaling, as well as the FSLogix profile replication for you seamlessly in the background. Custom RBAC roles are part of Nerdio Manager Premium Edition. This allows you to create granular role definitions so you can give different groups of users access to different components with different levels of control in your AVD environment. Our REST API is part of Nerdio Manager for Enterprise Premium Edition that allows you to use any third-party tools, any ITSM platform like ServiceNow or maybe Azure Power Automate, or really anything else that can leverage APIs to control your AVD environment through the Nerdio Manager public APIs. We also have an integration with Azure DevOps that allows you to store, version, backup, and author your scripts directly in your Azure DevOps repository securely, link it to your Nerdio Manager instance, and have them automatically sync up with your DevOps repository. We have an integration with Teradici's PCOIP protocol. So for those environments that need Teradici PCOIP on your AVD host pools, can leverage that technology. We have several Windows 365 license optimization capabilities, things like Windows 365 license auto assignment, unused license reclamation, and inactive user parking. We also are going to be providing our premium customers with ongoing security testing and third-party compliance reports of the application. So they always have a current version of a compliance and security report. And a couple of coming soon features are going to be cost management features, things like cost attribution and chargeback on a per user basis. So you'll be able to say, how much a particular user has cost your organization for their use of the AVD environment. You can do that on a per user basis. You'll also be able to set budgets per host pool or even per individual user and be notified when certain budget thresholds are triggered. And finally, we're going to have a recommendation engine that's going to allow you to both receive recommendations on deployment of a new AVD environment and make suggestions on how to best, what resources to use, how to size your environment, how to configure auto scaling, etc. But also be able to proactively monitor your environment and make recommendations around performance increases or cost optimizations based on your specific environment and the behavior of your users. So these are the premium features of the premium edition. Again, on the charging on our cost plans and pricing page, you have this button, and then if you want to download this as a PDF in a downloadable way, you can get either the premium features in a PDF file that can be shared with your colleagues, or you can even download the entire feature set, which will have the comparison between standard and premium for each and every category of features. So hope you enjoy Nerdio Manager Enterprise Premium Edition, and I will see you in future videos.